to episode 2, YouTube stars of CJ2K Show. And I just want you to know that, I mean, we got a ton of views over the last, week and a day.
Did we? I don't even know.
I think we're like double digits, bro.
Oh, sick, dude. 11, probably.
Probably somewhere right now. I mean, I haven't really
Not even
checked.
your entire, and 5 of those are mine to make sure that it even uploads.
I was 4, so I really hope we hit the 20 mark, but I don't even think everyone's watched it. They just acted like they did and said good compliments in there, so we would keep doing it just so we weren't in their business on the group chat, but that's okay. I want to start this out with some league-wide news, as we will always start our episodes here. So first up, on the NFL front, we have the most
talked about,
probably. It's going to be Le'Veon Bell. What happens with Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm tired of this. I was tired of the team treating Kirk Cousins like shit. I'm glad he went somewhere and got fully guaranteed. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of these guys who... Le'Veon Bell is a superstar who deserves to get paid like a receiver because he does more work than a receiver. I get running backs don't have the shelf life, but the thing is he's valuable when he's not a running back. So if they're $1 million apart, you can't pay your star $5 more million over the course of 5 years. Yeah. That's what's holding you up. I would argue the same for the player too, but I get what he's going for.
Yeah, no,
I see
what you're saying.
He's going for the Colin Kaepernick effect. He wants to change the dynamic of the league.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I
fair.
get him sticking his foot in the ground. Yeah. I just am absolutely baffled the Steelers can't round up an extra $1 million a year for 5 years for him. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
It's pretty gutless. I mean, I never understood it to begin with. I don't know. I mean, my question is, we all saw that. What was that report that his agent or whatever said that this is almost now officially going to be his last year? Where does he go? Where does he go then?
I mean, I think he goes for where the money's at. I think he has one goal in this league, and it's to be A, the best running back in the league, and B, to get running backs to be at the forefront of the NFL game.
Yeah.
So,
back to that, because it used to be that way, right?
So I see two options. The Jets have a ton of money, and the 49ers are willing to fork out anything for anyone at this point.
Oh my God, could you imagine the 49ers? I could see that.
49ers would be a great fit for him. I just don't think they're going to offer as much money as the Jets would. I think the Jets would blow over a house for him.
Yeah.
Give him a 16, 17 million he wants.
And he has proven that is the reason why he's waiting. So let's say he does get 2 competing offers, one with a team that, to be honest, I think has more potential, like the 49ers. I know you're not high on them, but I think it's easy to say that they have more potential. Versus the Jets, those numbers were close. Does he still choose the numbers? Or does he, let's say Jets barely outbid the 49ers. Does he suck it up and go to the 49ers?
I like to think he's smart enough to play for the better team. But I think at this
moment,
he's on a mission.
There's a precedent that's been set, and I feel like if he doesn't now accept the max that he's been offered, it's like, what was that then?
I agree. Yeah. So I would agree that it is Bell's last year in Pittsburgh.
I do too. I don't think that's bluffing or anything like that.
I really do think that's a thing.
Yeah.
Step 2, next NFL news we have is LaShawn McCoy.
Some not so good news,
Yes. Who packs a better punch? Not Matt Forte. He did nothing. Whoa, we're talking LaShawn McCoy or Ray Rice.
Okay, well, first of all, that's fucked.
Terrible.
Second of all, we don't have footage of the McCoy.
Yeah, but did you see that face?
I saw it, and it was baffling.
I want to say...
I didn't believe it at first. You showed me it, and I read the whole thing, and I was just like, whoa.
With all of the alleges, this is what this person did, that's what he did, and they put like 100 years of prison life on him. If they come out with half that guy is done with society. He's seen a brick wall for a while.
If it's in any way, I don't know, dude. You know how these things get drawn out.
They're terrible.
The NFL season, he could see 8 games. Let's say it is true. He could see 8 games this year or something like that before we actually have something happen.
I'm not saying Zeke didn't do it, but all I'm saying is the court said Zeke didn't do it, and he still got suspended. Even if the courts say, there's no proof that McCoy did it, McCoy is going to get suspended. And if he doesn't, the league is already, it's more broken than like the NBA or the NFL used to suspend Tom Brady for 4 games for that, and you suspend Ray Rice for 2. It's already broken, so they cannot keep messing up. They have to put their foot down.
And they're going to delay it, just like they did the Zeke thing. Oh, is he suspended 4 games? Yes. Oh, then it's no. Then it's yes. Then it's no.
Appeal. Yeah. What about the net? This is good news, I would like to think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is for a local
maybe
Oregon
not for
State
NFC
kid.
West fans.
Oregon State kid, though. Brandon Cook signs a fat deal. $80
what was
million.
the number? Do you know?
$80 million for 5 years.
80
million for 5 years.
Okay.
And he's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's
how young is he? That I don't remember.
24, 25. Okay. I can pull up exact age if we want, but he's young, but he's not like. I mean, he's someone you can build around.
Yeah.
$80 million is a lot to put in a guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's 24 years old, so he's locked up till 29.
But I like the Rams continuing to show that they are respecting and building around their skilled offensive players. That is what they're good at right now.
That's fair, but I would argue that they're broke in 2 years, and if they don't win 2 Super Bowls in the next 2 years, that team's going to go. They're destined to go backwards again.
I see what you're saying.
And I'm not talking like your regular fallout. I'm talking like a Seattle Seahawks fallout that we're going to see this year.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a dynasty blow up, and we can't consider them a dynasty yet.
It
was one good year.
Let's switch gears a little bit because the Seahawks have been that way, not dynasty, but I know what you're saying. Several years of success and high expectations.
I think we can consider the Seahawks a dynasty. They didn't win multiple, and I think that's what people want to hear for dynasty.
Right.
But with football, I think it's the fact that you can come from
If you
how
can
bad they
compete,
were, and they competed, and they were considered like the best defense. I mean, they writ the script for drafting players for the next 10 years. Yeah. I think that it was as close to dynasty as dynasty gets, unless you're the Patriots.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Course,
I mean, the Patriots are the only real dynasty we've witnessed, except for Alabama.
Right.
I mean, those are really only 2 dynasties we were in.
Yeah.
I would argue Oregon had a dynasty in there that people wouldn't agree to, but I mean, they were one of the most dominant teams in the nation from a team standpoint.
Yeah.
And they reinvented college football, the spread offense. So I think we can consider our dynasty different. But I would say, I think the Seahawks built a dynasty. They changed the way the landscape of football.
I do agree that I think this is going to be that first year. Even last year, I kind of considered them to be in that area where they're a team that can be scary. I still don't consider them to be.
I still think they can be scary.
You do? You think it's continuing?
Russell Wilson makes an offense.
I mean, they have the players to do it, but what's happening? I mean, let's talk about our next point.
I mean, Earl Thomas is gone. I mean, it's all written on the wall. He's gone. I mean, he's going to be gone.
He is.
We just don't know where. We don't know where or when. Yeah. I would assume he's a Patriot because the Patriots are the team that would make that splash move.
Oh yeah.
They don't really need a safety. I could also see it being the Cowboys because he's expressed interest there before.
Right.
But
I remember that.
I just don't see the Cowboys being intelligent enough to make that move. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to fork over enough to get
That's
him.
an intelligence move that only the Pats can grab, not the Cowboys.
I would like to think so. I think Bill's someone who could buy low on him and drive the cost down. I don't.
What do you think? What do you think Earl Thomas's motive is? Just to get out of Seattle because he's pissed, or is it because he knows it's going down south and he wants to be back on a team that's competing?
Combo of both. I'm not going to put a nail on one head. I think it's both. I think he sees the writing on the wall, and I think he sees mistreatment amongst what he thought was the best secondary in the NFL, which I think it was.
Right.
I mean, you saw Cam Chancellor get hurt. I mean, and they forced him back on the field. Maybe they didn't force him, but I mean, he just retired, dude.
Right.
In his prime, he retired.
Yeah.
So something was clearly wrong there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing was Richard Sherman get dealt.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was phenomenal for 5 years, man.
Yeah.
So, and you see a rotating wall on the other side of the cornerback position. They got a new guy every year and traded him every year.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he was done in Seattle, and I think they're starting to be bad.
So I mean, it sounds like we're mixed. It sounds like we're halfway thinking they're making some. It sounds like on the defensive side, it's kind of like they're tanking, which is where you would never have thought that they would go there.
I'm going to throw a bold statement out because it falls into our next guy. We're talking about Gronk, right? Yeah. Possible trade with Gronk. He's been on the block for the last 2 years. Tom Brady put his name on the line.
That works perfectly with Gronk. Yeah.
What if we just swapped and maybe added a little bit more on one side? What if we see Gronk go over there and help Russell?
Yeah.
Because he's a great blocker. It would add a multi-dimensional tight end to there. And you get rid of Gronk, who... I don't know if you guys know, but Bill Belichick sees the writing on the wall before anyone else.
Yeah.
He always trades guys before they're about to be bad. I think with the exception of Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones was an animal last year. He's the only guy who's like actually produced somewhere else.
Right.
Bill knows how to get the best out of people. So I can easily see him cutting Gronk now because of injuries and lack of availability. Because let's be real, that's the most important aspect of a player is being able to play.
Yeah.
And going out and getting a guy like Earl Thomas, and plus, could you imagine Earl Thomas and McCourty in the same secondary?
No.
Oh my! It'd be silly. You couldn't pass against that team.
Hey, it would fill up. I mean, they just got rid of Malcolm Butler.
And they just got rid of Butler.
Get another guy in the secondary.
I could easily see it. I really could. And then.
Do you see us get rid of Graham at that point? You tell me.
Graham's already gone. He's a Packer. Yep.
I don't recall, but I
Free
believe
agent signing. Now this one I think slightly silly, but with as silly it is. Yeah, I mean it could be real.
Let's talk about it though.
Is flag football in the next 15 years going to be the way the NFL goes. And I know that sounds hilarious, but I mean, if players are going to retire and get more intelligent and start retiring at the age of 30, it's either going to be a poor man's sport where no one gives a shit about rules and it's just it's an all-out blood fest.
Right.
It could get to that point.
It could.
And we pay to watch that because that's what people pay for. They like big hits and stuff.
That's true.
Or does it go to like a flag football to like, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun watching.
It's fun watching
in the pocket and watching Seneca.
I haven't actually watched any live broadcasts of it.
Oh my god! 18 for 21.
That's the main name I've been seeing. Yeah.
Just dominating. It looks like he's.
It looks fun. It looks fun, and it looks like they're having fun.
It's enjoyable enough to watch, and you get to see like guys like T.O.
It's still competitive too.
Chad
You saw
Johnson
how serious Chad Johnson was taking it. Yeah.
I think it's a realistic option to maybe look into the future and be like, that could actually become what the NFL is. Yeah, I'm just saying. If Chris Borland retires after having a career rookie year, and he just retires after $500,000. He didn't even sign a big contract. He was on a rookie deal of $500,000, and he retired. Chris Borland, it was a middle linebacker for 49ers. After Pat Willis went down and Navarro Bowman went down, he came and started and almost led the league in tackles after missing the first 4 games and was an animal. And everyone was like, this is the next best young linebacker from Wisconsin. And he retired after his rookie year. And everyone was like, what the he retired? And it's this ongoing thing, man. People are getting hurt. It's terrible for your body.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're not wrong.
We see that kid from Washington State who's 19 years old or 20 years old and he already had CTE.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, something's gonna break.
Yeah, eventually.
Something's gonna break.
It's actually gonna be taken care of. It's actually gonna be looked at seriously. Yeah.
And helmets are only making it worse and worse.
Right.
People forget that the more safe a helmet is, the less safe a player treats their body because they think it's safe. And so
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The more protected the helmet gets, the less protection that each player gives himself as he's playing the game. Yeah.
Exactly. But we'll move past league-wide news. That's just a little recap of the last week of the NFL. There's actually been quite a bit of stuff that's going on. Yeah. We just kind of brush to the side as the newest thing pops up. Next, we'll move into our league. We had a big announcement. We added 2 new owners.
That's huge news for your guys' league, right? It's massive news,
I mean, they may win a game because I think they have to play each other.
Right.
And they have to play Duckett, so there's a chance they get a couple wins. And Riley might not have a roster by the end of it because I don't know what he's doing over there. Half the time I don't know. I really just don't know what Riley's doing.
He's just a fat question mark.
Half the time he's making a trade. Half the time he's not. I don't know. So I mean, they could sneak out a couple wins.
Yeah.
I would almost wager they might not be the team that takes last. But it was big news. Congratulations, you 2, on getting into the league. I just want you to both know, don't trade with me. You will be raped, even if you think you can get by it. It won't happen.
Oh, we're dropping the R word in the. Are we?
Oh, I mean that's who I am in this league, I guess.
All right.
No one trades with me anymore.
You're a rapist in the league. Okay.
I am the rapist.
Okay.
That's what they call me. It's a weird thing to be proud of, but I am very proud. But other than that, I'm going to give you guys some advice from being in the league, and then I'm going to let the outsider give you some advice from the little bits he's seen.
Yeah.
First, sit on your roster after you make the draft. Don't make a trade. See some trades fall. Learn values of players. The values in this league are way different than any other league. We've seen too many guys come in, full bore, make moves, and fuck up. Don't do that. Sit on your roster, let it marinate, and decide on what you want to do and who you want to target, and do your best to trade away players trade for players that you think will help you in the long run. You guys are not teams that are going to win it this year, and if you do, you are a god. But neither of you are. I'm going to be straight up with you now. So, be smart. Pick out a select few of players saying, this is a guy I want for the next 5 years. And be realistic. If you go say, I want Todd Gurley for 5 years, you're never going to get him. So don't go for Todd Gurley. Go for guys you think you can get, who might be sleepers, who might be young, who might go under the radar, whoever it is, and put your money on them and make the right moves. You guys don't get into the whole, I got to rebuild now. Build your team through the draft. If you want to know teams through the draft, I'll give you players. Cody drafted Alvin Kamara last year with a late first round. I drafted David Johnson a couple years back in the second round. Tony traded Matt Stafford for 3 picks in last year's draft, got Deshaun Watson, Juju Smith, and Evan Ingram technically out of the league. He drafted Joku, made a trade, got Evan Ingram. So I would say he made out like a bandit on that one.
Yep.
My dad got, why can't I think of his name, running back for the Chiefs last year. Kareem Hunt. He drafted Hunter Henry with a late 1. He drafted Michael Thomas in the 7th overall pick. There are dudes in the draft, even if you don't have pick 1. My point being is build through the draft, do everything in your power to research the draft, because that is where the most important players come from. That's where I got Zeke. That's where Nick's going to get Saquon. That's where all these guys are picked, right? Yeah. It's through the draft. Yeah. It's through this magical thing called the draft. Right. Tony got Tyreek Hill really late in the draft / free agent find because of his whole thing in college we won't talk about. And he's been really good. There are finds, is the point being there.
Yeah, the guys are there.
And not only is there the superstars like I just named, there's your Tevin Coleman's of the world that you get in a late 1 who become a great flex / RB3 2 combo. He's, there's Deion Lewis's that slide through flex. He was dropped and re-picked up in the 3rd round of one of our leagues. Like, we're talking, there are finds to get. There are players to find. And you guys have to be willing to gamble that way instead of saying, I'm going to trade my future 1 for X player. Right. Probably not a good idea. I'm going to be real with you. It's just probably not going to work. Yes, there are busts in drafts. It's kind of like the real NFL draft. Of course. But your odds are much better because it's just skill position players. Yeah. And really, instead of focusing on a player, focus on fit. That's the other thing I've noticed. Everyone focuses on these big names. It's not always about the big names. It's about where they go, how they fit in the offense. Mm-hmm. So really look at that kind of stuff. Yeah. Secondly, get to know the people in the league. Not necessarily outside of the league, but how they go about their business. Yeah. Don't get offended by a bad trade offer. Don't get offended by X or Y. Just learn how people go about their business, and it'll make life a whole lot easier for you. I promise you that. There are people who will frustrate you if you let them get to you. Don't let that happen. Yes, I might be one of them, but I'm just saying, take it with a grain of salt. It's all good fun here. I'm going to take home the trophy, and if I don't, I'm going to be pissed because I'd like to think I should have in the past, but I have not, so I need to take home the trophy this year. So, just hold your horses. Right? My brother had, I don't know how my fucking brother won. That roster is not a winning roster, considering who he had compared to other teams, but you know what? It's all about who gets hot at the end. That's what it's all about. Yeah. You could have Brandon Cooks as your receiver 1, but you know what? If he wants to catch 3 touchdowns in the championship game, he's going to help you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's anyone, but their draft is really the place to build. I want people to know that. Newcomers, just sit on your hands. Just sit on your hands. Don't make a trade.
I mean, from active. The little that I've heard you talk about, that I've heard some of the other guys in your league talk about, the main thing to take away is, I don't know the level of knowledge about this league that the 2 newcomers have. Okay. But it is unlike any league I'm assuming that they've ever been in. I saw one of the videos of the guys that got in. I didn't see the other one. But it is unlike anything that you've ever done. I mean, you gotta. It's gonna come down to honestly studying. If you're not already up at that level, there are guys in this league that know what they're doing. It doesn't always translate because we are talking about fantasy football. It can be random, but it's a whole nother ball.
Yeah, like drafting Adam Thielen. Right. He was a 2nd round draft pick. Yeah. He's pretty good. Yeah. Just saying. I mean, there are guys who slide through the cracks all day long. Cameron Meredith was a free agent. Quincy Enunwa was a free agent. I mean, I could go on and on and on about these guys who you could just find on the waiver if you're smart and you're patient. I mean, I'll go a subtle one. Freaking Michael last year picked up the Jags defense because they were terrible 2 years ago. Huge. And look at how good they were this year. You know what I mean? I mean, I can look at points right now. Eagles D was 3rd last year, 159 points. Yeah. That is more points than the 6th overall tight end. Yeah. So if people are going to say, defense don't matter, you're an idiot. Right. Because they clearly matter. Oh, Jay Ajayi scored 120 points. I mean,
while we're talking about it,
Robbie Gould, 168 points. He scored more than the defense. Yeah. My point being is like if you really look into it, they scored more points than running back 24. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those guys are valuable. Those players are valuable. Freaking Robbie Gould, kicker 3, almost scored the same. He was 10 points less than Golden Tate, receiver 15.
Yeah.
So if people are going to say those are important, there are subtle wins you can make.
Yeah.
Take them when you can.
Yeah.
What other advice do you have for the newcomers?
I mean, like I said, study up. I think getting to know everybody in the league is going to be huge because that is going to affect how you go about dealing with each individual player. I mean, yeah, buckle up because I anticipate that it's going to be an interesting ride.
It's going to be a long ride that can be made shorter with obviously a couple right moves. That's what it always comes down to. Anyone can come out of it. But I'll be honest with you. Like, we'll go over my dad last year, right? Eugene Crushers. They finished third last. And I'm telling you, his roster last year, Drew Brees, Kareem Hunt, Michael Thomas, Doug Baldwin, Brandon Cook, Jonathan Stewart. If a newcomer had that team right there, they'd be thrilled. Yeah. Okay, I'm talking, this is a top 5 team, and they were third last. He got killed with luck. So my point being is, and then you have guys, not to throw people under the bus, but I mean, I can go back and I can look at points scored last year, just like you can in every league. Right. You have a couple guys who have scored a lot less than people who are in last, and they somehow snuck in the playoffs, or they just missed the playoffs. Things can happen. You can get the right matchups. It's all about that. Can you find the right people on the open market? Yeah. Do your research there. Take some risks.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jamal Williams was a risk last year. He panned out to be decent. There are guys that you can risk. Yeah. So, other than that, what else do you want to go over?
Other than that, welcome, right, to the newcomers.
I mean, fuck both of you. I don't really want to welcome you.
I mean, we had one more point, at least that we were going to
we read this one on NFL.com.
Yeah, we just saw this.
I thought it would be interesting for the group to think about. They listed 4 players.
They gave us an idea of 4 players, and we also added a separate category. They asked us, who is the NFL's most indispensable non-quarterback offensive player? We saw that, and we decided to go indispensable and dispensable.
Yeah, I think it's fair. And then we opened it up above the 4 different people they gave. I think 4 is not fair.
Yeah, no.
There's so many other candidates. Right. So I'll start with mine. My most indispensable player is going to be Julio Jones. That offense is shit without Julio Jones. And not because they don't have playmakers, because Matt Ryan gets lost. He doesn't know what to do. Maybe Calvin Ridley changes that. Maybe he doesn't. But I don't know.
That's
if
true.
You've watched games where Julio is not playing. They are not fun to watch at that point. He is
he's a good fail-safe, you know. He can take over a game if he's on that game. He's a little inconsistent, you know, with his numbers.
Who is your guy?
My guy's Mike Evans. It's along the same lines of the thought process. In asking who the most indispensable player is, I asked myself, what team is who they are or can do what they do with the player, and what happens to them without that player? The Buccaneers come into mind. If Mike Evans is on the field, they have somebody there. They have somebody that can make plays.
I mean, they quite literally will just lob it up to him.
Exactly. They can win games. They can get into games. That is how that's how you can you can change a season for a playmaker like Mike Evans.
I have him, and I would say that he has maybe the worst starting quarterback in the league on his side. I mean, maybe.
Possibly.
At times he shows flashes, at times he doesn't.
Right.
2 years ago, he wasn't much better than he was now, and Mike Evans has had a great year.
Exactly.
Last year, Mike Evans had a down year of receiver. Mike Evans, you suck last year, buddy. You were receiver 18. You were so bad when you were a high-end receiver, too. All you people saying he's terrible. Yeah. I mean, he had a terrible year last year, and he was receiver 18. That just shows you the sheer volume he gets. If you can just have a guy who...
So, I mean, if you take away Mike Evans and a Buccaneers team that's playing in the league in the same division as the Panthers, the Saints, and the Falcons...
They don't win a game.
What happens, you know?
They don't win a game.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
They're drafting... Jameis Winston's success. You know what I mean? They're like, I wish I would have taken Marcus Mariota. Maybe we'll see what Marcus does this year. But at least you have a guy who's not yelling. I'm not even gonna say.
Just that was it. That's it, right?
I'm not even gonna say what he says.
All right, so that was indispensable. You want to start for dispensable?
Yes. This one's gonna be funny. This doesn't necessarily mean this player's bad. It just means that.
No, absolutely not.
It just means that if you take him away, I don't think much happens.
Who is dispensable? Yes.
Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara. I think you could take one of those running backs out of that system. I think preferably would be Ingram. I think Kamara is more of a play for it. Yeah. But I'm going to say both because for the whole point being that, I mean, they're both so good that it's like I don't care who's in the game. Yep. They both catch passes. Yep. They both run the ball well out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. They both break tackles. They both can get in the end zone. They both can, I mean, they can take goal line touches. They can take deep touches. I mean, they're both so good that if you got rid of one, their running back core doesn't crumble by any means.
Right.
They're fine. I don't think they score a lot less points.
And I do agree that I think
valuable.
it should be Ingram that goes out of the two of them.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying with it could be either of them, just because of how they're both.
Mark Ingram was good 2 years ago. I'll say that now, and they didn't have Kamara, so it could be either.
Yeah, I mean, same with mine. This isn't to say that the player's bad or anything like that, but in terms of most dispensable, who can leave?
I would argue that you also picked this player maybe because of health.
Yeah, I mean,
because
we are talking about a fantasy. In terms of fantasy, we're talking about numbers. We're talking about production. If AJ Green is taken away from the Bengals, I don't know of a lot that happens. Maybe if you asked me that same question 3 years ago, I have a little bit, more of a response to that. But if AJ Green hasn't been used to his potential, the Bengals don't know what they're doing. If you take AJ Green away, they're throwing to the same guys that they are throwing to on a week in, week out basis, and the same results are happening.
So I got a message. I got to read this. Connor, found something for you to talk about in your podcast. Trade alert. If this is a newcomer, I literally will regret picking whoever it is. This
is live. This is happening right now.
This is live. If someone has made a trade that has just got admitted to the league and you didn't listen to my advice...
Why is Cody saying no?
Because no one wants them to trade.
Do you know what the alert is? What the potential trade is? I do not know
this trade. All I'm saying is if it is a new person that made a trade that is embarrassing, who said that? I would hope that they're not in this league by tomorrow. That's what I will say. Maybe they prove me wrong. Maybe they go get Todd Gurley for pick 1. Not going to happen. All I'm saying is if it's a new person and they didn't absolutely clean house, you don't deserve to be in the league anymore. I mean, as simple as that. It's bad.
Whose fault is it at that point,
advice.
Whose fault is it at that?
The person who decided to make the trade. I won't even offer them a trade because I don't want that to happen to our league. If they accept a trade, it puts the league back even further because it adds another person who's going to be bad for even another year on top of that. Yeah. They don't. The value of pick 1 is stupid in this league. You could become relevant with pick 1. You could actually become a middle of the pack team after 1 year. It was fake. I'm glad it was fake. Thank you. I was going to kill Jake if that was real. That's who I thought it might be. And I just wanted to say, fuck you, Jake. Fuck you. But we'll move on.
Okay.
We will move on.
All right.
We still didn't go over your guy.
No, we did.
Oh, we did?
We talked about drinking fully, yeah.
Yeah, he's just hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
If he's not producing, I classify him absolutely as that.
It's pretty simple. I had a great question by one of the lone people in this league who always ask me questions. So thank you, Tate. You're not, podcasts, yes. But, even just fun fantasy questions all the time. You always ask questions. So I have a fun one.
Love it.
I took it to a next step for you because I think you'd appreciate it. It was pick 2 players, buy 1 and sell 1. Instead of picking 2 guys, I'm going to pick 2 guys from every roster, and we're going to buy and sell 1.
Let's do it.
Because I think that'll be more fun.
Are we just going to go down the list? Or?
I'll buy first, you sell, and then we'll flip-flop every time, okay? Yeah. So I would buy on my team. I'm buying Devontae Adams.
Oh, we're looking at your team?
This is my team. Yep, first up.
So we're talking about on a season-wide basis, not dynasty-wise. We're talking about this season, who you're buying in for this season? Oh, okay.
Dynasty-wise.
So you're going Devontae Adams out of all the players on your team?
I'm going to go Devontae Adams out of where he is currently sitting on value compared to what I think he will at the end of the year.
Okay.
Devontae Adams is in a situation where he just lost Jordy Nelson, the number 1 target getter.
Yeah.
He had a good year last year at receiver 14 with Brett Hundley throwing the football.
Right.
If you're telling me I get Aaron Rodgers back and I lose the biggest target getter and I plug Devontae Adams in the biggest target getter role and now I get Aaron Rodgers back and he was receiver 14 last year, top 5 year on the way. I'll tell you right now. Top 5 easy year this year. He could be receiver 1 this year if things go right.
I don't disagree. Yeah, if things go right.
So I'm buying on Devontae Adams. Okay. Who are you selling on? I think I have a gut.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah.
I think you could say those 2 would be.
I was gonna go with the second one at first, but I'm just gonna say Devontae Freeman. It seems pretty obvious. I'm considering this on a team basis, right?
He has to have a
based on your team. I'm selling on Devontae Freeman. I think he's excess. I think he's a little bit of baggage. I don't think you're going to use him that much, and I think that he can easily be dealt.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit here and say I have not looked at dealing him. However, I will be brutally honest with the league, and I will be brutally honest with myself. I value Devontae Freeman as a top 10 running back in Dynasty format. He is young. He may be a couple concussions away from being gone. I get it. But he is young, and he puts up fantasy points. Last year, he missed multiple weeks, and he was running back 14. Yeah. So I can't sit here and sell him for nothing like everyone wants to.
No, absolutely. I just don't know how long that lasts.
A valuable
for all we know, this could be the highest his stock is indefinitely. You know, could
Yeah,
just
but
go down.
Tevin Coleman has been good every year, and Devontae Freeman still puts up points.
Yeah.
So my point being is no one's dethroning him from putting up points.
Yeah.
It's only if health hinders him further back.
Yeah.
And as long as he stays somewhat healthy, I think he's fine. But I would agree with you. I would have personally chose Allen Robinson just because he's up in the air with situation. But I think he's arguably
Question mark.
he
Bit of a question mark.
arguably could be my best player if things went right. Again, Trubisky decides to throw his way a lot. I don't
Yeah. Okay, so I'm buying now.
know. You're buying now. I'm selling.
Wait, whose team is this? I want to know.
This is my brother's team. This
Oh.
is Team Clack Attack.
My goodness, there's a couple guys. You know what? To be honest, it's pretty easy to me. I think I'm gonna go with. I'm buying in on Alvin Kamara for sure. I mean,
Ingram missing 4 games.
Yeah.
Has you feeling good? Huh?
Yeah, Ingram missing 4 games, of course, but I don't think Kamara. I don't think he's going down. I think he's just touched what he can do. I think he's perfect for the Saints. I agree with your dispensable. I think Mark Ingram can be dealt, and Kamara can take over that whole thing.
So sell's tough. I don't have a lot of guys on this roster here that I would be like, I don't want him anymore. I'm going to sell him at peak value because that's what I look at sell for.
Right.
Can I sell someone at peak value
Yeah.
before I think they plummet?
Right.
A player I look at probably most because I think it would put his team, my brother's team, into like top, like maybe the top team.
Yeah.
And I will always say for him to do this, it's OBJ. Hear me out. Number 1 dynasty player. I get it.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't know
Yeah.
where he's going to be next year, which is probably the best thing.
Right.
Because he's going to
Right.
go to a better quarterback.
Yeah.
He could be receiver 1 for the next 3 years. I get all of that. But let's be real. You could get maybe 2 to 3 starters. You might be able to find. I know Deion Lewis was running back 13 this year, and
Right.
he very well could do it again.
Right.
But you could find a top 15 running back, a
Yeah.
top 10 running back.
Yeah.
You could find a top 10 receiver, and you could probably find another guy in there too.
Yeah.
Like you could get a high pick and both of those guys, and that team would be so deep.
I don't
like
disagree.
his
I like
starting
that.
lineup's good. I don't think his his bench is deep.
Yeah.
I like certain guys like
Yeah,
Alan
I agree.
Hearns and Marquise Goodwin had a good year last year, but I think he would be so deep, and I think it would be good. I also would say at some points don't sell OBJ for anything because it is OBJ.
Right, of course.
But I think you could get such skyrocketed value.
I think so too. I think his team.
One owner to another.
Yeah, if you did it right, I think he can get better.
Roseburg Ducks. I go back to buying,
Yeah, you're buying.
and I am going to buy. This is unfair. I apologize, and I don't want this to sound like a homer decision, but I am going to buy Corey Davis Marcus Mariota combination,
I like it.
and the reason why. First off,
I mean, you're picking Corey Davis. You're not picking Marcus, right?
Well, no,
are you picking the
I'm
duo?
going both. The
Okay.
duo.
Okay.
And the reason why is he's not going to start over Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is a superstar. But Marcus getting LaFleur, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but OC from the Rams last year, getting him
That's right.
and Corey Davis showing his potential in the playoffs against a good Pats secondary, I think will propel them to work harder, even though Marcus already works very hard. And I would hope to think Corey Davis does too, considering the reports are that they always work out together. I want to say that connection could become a big deal. Marcus is not going to be as bad as he was last year.
Yeah.
That is bottom line Marcus. That's no offensive coordinator
Right.
because what they had in place before was pretty piss poor coaching, I'll be honest. It was archaic and bad.
Yeah.
So this year, with what they have, I would buy on those two. Personally. I know who you're selling on.
I'm gonna go a little hard here. I'm not anticipating anyone's gonna agree.
By
with
the
this.
way, this is Tony's team.
Okay.
And I agree who you're picking. Just
Yeah.
because I have an idea who you're picking. You didn't point, but I know who you're picking.
Oh, I know. I did point too. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, that was the point.
Yeah. That I'm selling Deshaun Watson. For the same reason for the same logic, I guess I should say, that you were selling OBJ with Cody's team.
His value is it.
His value is insanely high,
If
and I get that he only played in not even half the games last season. And look, he was averaging
He was
one of the best quarterbacks.
He was
QB
a quarterback
26.
two
He was
last
better than
year.
6 starting quarterbacks in the league, and he played in half the games.
Oh, I don't even know if you can consider it half. I mean, he got into
6.5
the game.
games. Yeah, 6.5.
He started week 3 and played 5 weeks of elite
Yeah.
football.
Now, with all of that being said, it's a huge question mark. Is that sustainable? With the state that the Texans are as a whole, I don't know if I look at Deshaun Watson and I say, yeah, I think he's the guy that turns their entire program around. I think that he could be that guy. I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm saying that there is as likely as a chance that he could be, there is just as likely of a chance that he could not. I don't think we have even close to enough data to be able to say what we can say about him. You know, five games of elite play, fantastic play in one of the worst divisions in the league. I don't know.
I forgot to add one thing. Tate also wanted an X factor from each team.
Oh,
so we'll together pick one. I'll point to mine. You agree, you disagree.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of go for it. I think X factor would be here. Or here.
Well, yeah, I would do that.
Okay, so X factor for my team is David Johnson.
David Johnson, yeah,
He's coming back from injury. You don't know what you're going to get. He
How
could
dual
be,
threat he is in a PPR, you guys are doing.
We're half-point PPR, so he could be the most valuable player in the league, or he could flop. I don't really know. It's not like they have a ton invested in them. On Cody's team, my X factor would be here easily.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's mine.
I'm not going to disagree. I was going to say Kelsey, but I don't know.
Kelsey, yeah. I mean, tight ends are kind of crapshoot.
Yeah.
I would say Dion Lewis because he's a running back. He was RB13 last year. If he puts he puts remotely the same year up.
I hope so, badly.
He's the high-end RB2. I mean, he's so valuable in this league. He has more value than what people are giving him. And then Tony's team's easy.
Absolutely.
It's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill was receiver 5 last year. He's going through a quarterback change. If he can be receiver 5 again this year, then he solidifies himself as a top 5 dynasty receiver.
Yeah.
And you can't argue that considering last year he was a rookie, 2 years ago he was a rookie and he was like receiver 14 or something. He was top 26. Okay. I know that for sure. Yeah. I know he was a top. Yeah. He was our receiver 2 at least.
Slinging to him. And what could we be looking at? You know, I don't know.
I don't know. That's exactly.
It's exciting though. It's exciting.
But then we'll move on to the next team.
Okay, so I'm buying, right?
You're buying. I'm selling. Who are you buying?
Oh, I know who I'd be selling for sure. I'm gonna buy Todd Gurley. I mean, looking at the scope of the whole team, Julio Jones is an. Oh my God, this guy is Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. What is who is this?
This is Michael.
Oh, the guy that won.
He did win last year.
Okay. I'm still going with Todd Gurley because of his youth, because of how well the Rams are meshing their offense and where they plan to go with this stuff, barring injury. I'm buying it on Todd Gurley. I think who knows, he could have an AP-like stint in the league like AP did once upon a time.
So, Mike, if I'm you, buddy, I'm selling on. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt the gut.
Who is it?
I'm selling either your current flex position in AJ Green or Gronk.
Absolutely agree.
I don't know how much time AJ Green has of being elite anymore. I mean, he was receiver 11 last year with a bad quarterback. I get all that, but that situation's getting worse and worse. The Bengals are on this path, not the good path. Yeah. So my point being is AJ Green always going to be here? Maybe. He's that talented, but at some point he could dip. And when he's receiver 20, he lost so much value. Mm-hmm. Right now he still has elite value.
Exactly.
And Gronk, I mean, we're talking about a guy who said he's going to retire a year ago.
I know.
I mean, I don't think you can trade him because him saying that, I don't know what value he would back.
Right.
But he is the best tight end. Anytime he steps on the field, there might have never been a better tight end. I mean, I guess you could say Tony Gonzalez, but I don't think there was one more dominant while playing than what we're witnessing now. Yeah. We're witnessing a receiver in a left tackle body of like a ripped human who is, you know, huge, and he plays left tackle better than a lot of people, and he catches the ball better than a lot of people. Like, he is the rarest combination of rare that it gets. Yeah. He is so valuable. I don't know how much longer that body holds up. And
I agree.
I know how stupid he is, but he's really smart, actually. Like, he's a very intelligent human.
That I know nothing about. I do think that he plays a little bit into a stupid, you know.
He's never spent a dime.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Fair.
I have heard that.
Just fun stat if you didn't know that. Gronk only lives off his endorsements.
Yeah.
His game checks have gone into a bank account, invested, and he's never spent a dime of it.
That is a story.
And maybe that's a parent's move. I get it. But you know what? He didn't fight it. Good for him.
Yeah, he didn't fight it. Yeah, you're right.
Good for him.
And he easily could.
Mm-hmm. Easily could. It's his money.
Yeah.
This is my dad's team.
So you're buying.
I'm buying on this one. I am going to buy Michael Thomas as the receiver 1 this year.
Okay.
That's what I'm buying. Drew Brees and Michael Thomas connection is filthy. Michael Thomas is destined to be receiver 1 this year. Yeah. I think he beats out every star we've named, from Antonio Brown to OBJ to all of them. He is receiver 1 this year. He is that good. Yes,
okay.
I know.
Okay. I like it.
I would also buy Drew Brees. He was quarterback 9 last year, and there's only upwards from QB9 for Drew Brees. Just saying.
I mean, I don't know how much this qualifies as a sell, but I'm selling Jonathan Stewart. I mean, I think he has a little, he has a decent amount of fantasy value, at least right now. He can still be plugged into a lineup depending on the team. I mean, even his team could use it if he really wanted to, but I'm just not a fan of the
You don't know what Saquon's bringing yet. I know the hype around
Yeah.
him. He's a rookie, though.
Yeah.
If Saquon sees any hurdles, Jonathan Stewart's a journeyman.
Yeah. I don't disagree, but I mean, if Saquon stays healthy, Jonathan Stewart might not.
You want to hear my buy?
You mean yourself? You already did your buy.
Oh, no, my other buy.
Oh, your ex?
James Conner. Le'Veon Bell's
Whoa.
gone. Le'Veon Bell's gone in the year. James Conner's the guy. Remember I said that now? For all you rookies, go get
I'm
you.
going to go with Mike Williams for the X. Continue.
Oh, X Factor.
Yeah.
X Factor Mike Williams. He has a good year. He'd help. I think Doug Baldwin's the X Factor.
You never know.
And I think it's Dougie. Can Dougie keep pace with less and less people around him that are good? On to David Cluett's team. I don't even know if this guy has watched the first podcast.
Who's this guy?
David. He's our he's our buddy over.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. He is our buddy over in Bend.
Okay.
I just don't know if he has paid attention to me.
Ooh, quite a team.
But I think
Decent team.
he's a superstar receiver away. And I'm not saying he doesn't have that on his team now.
I agree with what you're saying, though. Yeah.
But I'm saying he's a superstar receiver away. Let's go over his your buy. Who you buying?
Oh, I'm buying. Oh. This one's easy for me. I've been high on this guy for a long time. I mean, with a team like that, though, shoot. There are a couple different guys I could buy. I mean, an obvious choice could be Le'Veon Bell because of obvious reasons. Those don't even have to be stated. But the guy I'm high on is Stephon Diggs. I loved his year last year in my dynasty.
Enter Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
in my dynasty league last year, I got lucky and I had Diggs and Thielen. I think obviously if the discrepancy between the two gets any bigger than what it was last year, it's going to be in Diggs' favor once again. I think he's going to be the better. I think he's going to pull out. I think he has the ability to keep those numbers consistent over the years. Thielen, not necessarily. I don't think the Vikings have necessarily figured out exactly how to use Thielen. He had a lot of breakaway plays last year. He had a lot. I don't know. It just wasn't the sustainable type fantasy play that I'm used to. So Diggs out of those two is why I'm high on him for the Vikings specifically. And like you said, enter Kirk Cousins. I think he only gets better. I think Kirk Cousins is the type of quarterback that can utilize him even more to his potential. So I'm big on him.
And then my sell, shockingly, will be Le'Veon Bell.
Really?
He's not a Steeler next year. If he goes to New York, he has no one there. 8 men in the box, shut him down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Le'Veon Bell's one of the best talents we've ever seen, but he's there because he's got David DeCastro, and he's got Alejandro Villanueva, who was good at the left tackle last year. He's got Pouncey. I mean, he's got all these guys around him, making one incredible offensive line.
You're not wrong.
That allows him to run the way he runs.
Yeah.
So if he wants to get away from that, and I get his mission. If he wants to run away from that, I think he's going to be running into a wall somewhere, and that is not what I recommend.
That's fair.
So I would sell why he has another quality.
It could be a situation where he doesn't know how good he has it until it is gone. What if he
he has it real good. Right now. Got real good right now. He's got a place where he can play a long time with that O-line.
Exactly, yeah.
I go to buy.
Hey, you're buying.
I'm buying on Cliff Church's team, the Gonzo Legends.
Gonzo's Legends. I know who I'm selling.
I know who I'm buying, and it might be the same person you're selling.
Go ahead.
I'm buying Carlos Hyde.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
Carlos Hyde was RB9 last year. I want you to listen to that. RB9.
That surprises me. That's a number that I did not expect. I didn't know. I'm admitting
He was a top 10 play. He's young, and he went to a place with a great O-line. Sure, they drafted Nick Chubb. I'm glad they drafted him number 1 overall. Oh, wait, they didn't. Or 4 overall. Oh, wait, they skipped Saquon?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they actually may have some faith in Carlos Hyde? Maybe Carlos Hyde's a starter there that everyone says, no, it's got to be Chubb. I think it's Carlos Hyde.
For now, yeah.
If Carlos Hyde shows up, he's good, man. He could be really good there.
Agree.
Who you selling?
I'm selling Treat Cohen. I'm big on Jordan Howard. I think Jordan Howard is the future of the backfield of the Bears.
Does that rub off on you?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I kind of expected that. I at least expected you to talk about him on the last team, because I believe he was on the last team, yeah.
He was.
But I'm not going to lie. Jordan Howard I am a fan of Jordan Howard. I think Tariq Cohen's value right now is high enough for him to be a sell.
Okay, who's the X Factor? Go.
Oh, X Factor on this team? I know who you're saying.
Larry Fitz.
No.
He's receiver 6 last year, and he does it every
Bro,
year.
he's gone in 1 year. How is he X?
He's X Factor because this could be a
Does this team have an X Factor? I think X Factor has to go Carlos. That's it.
Okay. So take me to church. The son of the man we were just talking about, Tater Tot here.
I'm buying? Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I just sold on Tariq.
I'm selling. Yeah, you're buying.
Oh gosh. Okay. Buying. Who am I buying here? Oh yeah. It's a toss up between the two names you just circled. My gut says Will Fuller. My gut says Will Fuller, despite the amount of. I mean, I just talked pretty down about Deshaun Watson and what I expect of him. But Will Fuller's. I think DeAndre Hopkins is rubbing out on Will Fuller. I honestly think that is happening. I think he's learned a little bit from him. I think he has. I don't know. He has a little bit of a highlight play in him.
You know what I like about Will Fuller?
What do you like?
I don't mind a flex player who puts up a 0, but can also drop a 30.
Yeah. I mean, there's some frustrating parts about a guy like that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
but he's a guy who can win you a week in your flex position.
Exactly.
And
you
didn't ever expect.
Exactly.
I like that.
I mean, yeah.
I am selling on Robbie Anderson. I don't know if that guy is. He's really good, but he might be dumber than Josh Gordon.
Really? Is he
might
actually
be that dumb? Oh, he's not smart.
Hey, cut Josh Gordon some slack. I don't know if he's necessarily as dumb as he is.
I mean, sure, we can all say
it's not
as bad as it is. But I'm just gonna sit here and say, listen, hey, buddy, I'm gonna offer you a job of $2 million a year. You just can't smoke weed. If
Hell
you say,
yeah, that's so easy.
Okay, my point exactly. He's a
yeah.
So who's the X Factor?
X for this?
I'm gonna go.
I kind of want to go a little bit higher.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go mine. I'm gonna say Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller's still the starting guy there. Devonta Foreman tore his Achilles or something like that.
Yeah.
If Lamar Miller was like RB4 3 years ago or 2 years ago, he could become good again. Maybe.
I'm gonna say Trubisky.
Yep. I like it. 2 quarterbacks, 1 Kupp. Mr. Colton Pringle. I am buying. And I will always and forever buy this person with his quarterback healthy, and that's T.Y. Hilton. If Andrew Luck plays, and if Andrew Luck is decent, then that man is an animal. And I mean top 8 receiver. I had him 2 years ago when they were both healthy, and he threw his way a lot. So I am buying T.Y. Hilton because I think Luck maybe not be back to form, but I think Luck plays, and even a hurt Luck is a good Luck.
Yeah, okay. I don't hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having trouble finding somebody I'd sell on. I don't necessarily want to sell on McKinnon. I'm not big on Dalvin Cook. I'm still not. Oh wait, he's not at the Vikings anymore?
No, he plays for San Francisco, buddy.
Okay.
He signed with the Gabe squad that you're very familiar with.
I still don't want to sell on him though. I mean, I'm kind of looking at Cooper Kupp. I could see kind of a name getting lost in transition with how that offense evolves. I can see his name, I don't know, becoming less of a factor as time goes on.
Forgive me, they traded for Brandon Cooks in the offseason.
Yeah.
That's another receiver to touch targets.
I know, exactly.
I mean, I agree with you with that pick. So at what point does, how many points can Cooks get as their number 1? How many points can Robert Woods get as their number 2?
Right.
How many points can Cooper Kupp get as their number 3?
Right.
How many points, you know what I mean? Like, the names stack up quickly.
Hard really catch a lot of passes out of that.
And let's be real. I would say Cooks is in a much better spot than Sammy Watkins was. So
absolutely.
So I would say Cooks is taking over as what Cooper Kupp was, and Cooper Kupp slotting in what Sammy Watkins was. And I'll say Cooper Kupp's probably better, but I mean the targets weren't there.
Yeah.
Who's the X factor? I think the X factor is Jerick McKinnon.
Really?
He was RB 22 last year, and he was bad the first 4 weeks. And then he was a pretty good player the rest of the year.
I'm going to go Melvin Gordon. I like the Chargers. I like the length on him.
Man of Thiel, Mr. Nick Thielman, the one and only asshole of the league. Maybe the one of many assholes.
Okay.
Riley holds 2 of them. So, Nick.
He's an asshole twice?
He has 2 assholes.
Oh,
so double the asshole.
I forgot about that.
So, Man of Thiel, who are you buying, my friend?
Oh, I'm buying. Oh, goodness me. Okay. That's too easy. No. I mean, honestly, looking at the scope of this team, yeah, I'm going Jared Goff. I'm going Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff and Rodgers. I feel like Rodgers is the easy pick. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a fantastic quarterback. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks that are playing right now. I don't know. What if we are in the midst of the on again, off again for the rest of his career, Aaron Rodgers? We don't know.
At some point it hits.
For the dynasty, well, of course.
It seems early from his talent standpoint.
For the dynasty aspect
and it's not
of
like
this league.
It's not like he wasn't good when he was playing, but I get what you're saying.
I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of Jared Goff in general. So I mean, his rookie year, I was obviously very disappointed. Everybody was, but I believe that, like I said, I believe the Rams know what they're doing. I think that the Rams offense is something to pay attention to, and I think Jared Goff's going to be at the helm of that for a while.
Okay. My sell would be Julian Edelman. Edelman's good.
Absolutely.
Pat's offense is good. However, I think you're going to see some surprising names that I'm not going to name drop in here because they might be on my team in less than a month. Some guys that maybe people are forgetting about lost in the mix. Take targets from Julian Edelman, and I'll drop one name, and that's Jordan Matthews. Everyone forgets about this guy who was good 3 years ago and was bad last year. Name one receiver in Buffalo that's been good in the last 5 years. There hasn't been one.
Where's
Jordan
Buffalo?
Matthews, yeah, I don't even know if they play it. I mean, they're just a bunch of idiots over there.
Everyone's gone.
So give me a guy who has a good quarterback, who was good with freaking Nick Foles for a year. You know what I mean? He was good with Chip, so I don't see why Bill can't get the best out of the guy who has SEC god-like numbers under his belt. Like
X
Factor.
We doing X?
Sammy Watkins.
Really?
I mean, receiver 38, you buy on him when he's low. Can he be better than 38, or is he just bad now?
Sure. Okay. I'll agree with it. I don't disagree.
Maybe Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mr. Adam Miller, Steel City Mafia, the Steeler
Sean's
fan
name I'm
himself.
What's happening?
Can we just go right now and say X Factor is LaShawn McCoy? Does he ever step foot on a football field again? X Factor. Ding. I'll let you. I believe I just sold.
Did you?
No,
I just bought Jared Goff.
Yeah. So I need to sell, and you're buying. I'm buying. I'm buying. I will buy Pierre Garçon. Receiver 76 last year, got hurt. I would not be surprised to see Pierre Garçon sit at receiver 20 next year. Okay. With Jimmy G hucking the football over the place, I would buy on Mr. Pierre Garçon.
Okay. I mean, I think this goes right along the lines of when I was buying Stephon Diggs. I think I'd sell Adam Thielen. I think his value is obviously very high right now. I'm a big Adam Thielen fan. Like I said, I don't know how, if he keeps that up. I think Diggs is going to pull out as the solid number one.
Thomas Norton, the Heartland Haymakers.
Okay.
And the man that lives second furthest away to the man we just talked about. Who are you? I'm buying. I want to buy again. This team has a lot
I want to buy. No. Man.
I'll sell. You're buying? Who are you buying?
I'll tell you I'm buying.
I'm so excited to hear.
And there's full bias here. I'm buying Derrick Henry. I love the way Derrick Henry runs. I know Deion Lewis is...
Okay, before you keep going, we all are fans of him, but go your other one, non-biased. Go.
Non-biased? Who am I buying non-biased?
Yeah. Just because we already said we're going to do our best to stay away from Tennessee guys. I know I talked about one already, but I'm trying to buy other players. Who are you buying?
I'm buying Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I mean, I think he is going to fit well there. I think he already has what he needs to do what he wants. I think he has something better than that he's been given in Washington his whole career. I think he has all the pieces that he needs, and I think it's for him to make how he wants.
I'm selling Christian McCaffrey. I think he's good.
Disagree. Yeah.
I think he's very good. I think he's in an offense that does not make him better.
Yeah.
And I think you could have RB10 from a guy for Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey's young, and you could get someone who's a better player than where he is currently. And with that kind of the sitting there, not knowing exactly what you're going to get out of McCaffrey, kind of throws me off. I would personally sell there, even though it's the second year.
I don't disagree.
X Factor.
X Factor? Jimmy Graham at the Packers.
I love that one. I also love Michael Crabtree at Baltimore. He's their one now.
Derrick Henry? I don't know.
There's a lot of guys. You have a lot of X Factor. You have a lot of guys on the fringe that a lot of people are buying.
Yeah.
My favorite.
There's a lot of... There's excitement with this team. I like this team.
My favorite is Paul Richardson.
Ooh.
In Washington, looked good at spurts last year. I think he could be a guy that takes a big step. I think receiver 20 is not crazy. Yeah. Veteran Q who throws a deep ball actually really well. Mr. Two Assholes himself.
You're buying on Riley's game.
I am buying on. Do I have to buy? Can I always sell?
You have to buy.
Can I not sell?
You have to buy on this team.
I can't fire
Find
sale?
something to buy.
I can't buy a fire sale?
Whoa, what are you saying?
Like, buy a fire sale so I can just sell it all.
No.
Okay.
You're buying to buy.
Because I don't know if I want to touch anything that this man has touched.
Which is why I'm glad you have to buy on this team right now.
So, I'm going to...
Oh, I have a clear one. You can go ahead, though.
I'm going to buy the Eagles' defense being elite.
God.
I'm just kidding. I won't take that out. I sheer jokes. I personally... am going to buy that Golden Tate is another top 15 year, top 20 year.
Continue.
I think Matt Stafford slings the ball, and I think what they have right now between Golden Tate and Marvin Jones is premier. And I would not be surprised to see Golden Tate have another really good year. Who are you selling?
I'm selling Mark Ingram.
It's funny.
Value
I putting him into the buy.
Really? Value phenomenally high. Missing it's 4 games at the beginning of the season, right? Who knows what happens in that four games? Saints could find something that works and not have a need for him to come back in the same way that he was last year.
X Factor. I mean, there's so many. You have J.J., you have Jimmy G, you have Josh Gordon. I mean, my personal favorite X Factor there would be J.J.
Really? Okay.
I mean, you don't know what you're getting out of anyone who runs the football for that team. They're kind of becoming the Patriots. You don't know what running back's good.
Yeah.
J.J. was a top 10 running back dynasty last year because he had a good year with the Dolphins. And now we're looking at running back 37.
You sold me. I agree.
The Kuna Hornets, Mr. Jason Duckett.
Okay.
I will say this. The team has potential to be exciting. A lot of young talent, had a lot of draft picks in the last couple of years. And I would say
I agree with that.
Great job in the free agency last year. You had some real late pickups that I think could be good. D.D. Westbrook's of the world. I think you made some smart decisions in there. So try to do that again. I think you are 2 to 3 pieces away, and this is going to sound far away. I think you are a couple stars away. You have a lot of talent that could get you a star or two, but I think combining your talent and a couple stars, you'd be pushing for a playoff, and at any moment, as long as you get in, you could make a run. So, am I buying or selling?
You're selling. I'm buying.
Okay, who you buying?
There are a couple different guys that come into mind. He's got a solid receiving core. He doesn't have anybody that's outlandish. But to be honest with you, I'm buying Corey Coleman.
Funny enough you say that. He doesn't play for him anymore. He's actually on my brother's team, so buy someone else.
All right. Is there anybody else that's gone?
Nope, that's it. It was a pick for him.
Okay. Well, I mean, in that case, I guess I'm going to buy Nelson Aguilar. I think he's a perfect down the field guy for Carson Wentz. I hope, and I think Carson Wentz will continue his greatness next year. And I think Aguilar is going to be a receiver 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bam, over Alshon.
Yep.
I like that statement. Bold statement. I'm selling Dalvin Cook. We have seen in this league people value him so high.
Yep.
Get out of the fire while you can.
There's not enough. I don't think there's enough.
X Factor, Joe Mixon. Is he good? Is he not?
What is happening on that team?
His team
I don't
shit.
know, yeah.
And then we have the Zips and the Girthquakes. So first off, the Girthquakes, terrible name. Wish you did better.
Who's this?
That is Brandon.
One of the new guys? Zips.
I feel like there's not a whole lot of meaning behind your Girthquakes unless I'm missing something.
The Girthquakes.
But I also don't want to know if I'm missing something.
Shit.
But the Zips actually have a good meaning. He used to be the Zips in college football.
Akron?
Back when NCAA, I'm glad you know. Back when NCAA was a thing, he would play as Akron.
I like
and
it.
He would take that team from shit to number 1. And that is his goal in this league. So I love
that.
The meaning.
I love that.
Quality meaning. Good job, Jake Wilson.
X Factor in the league, the Zips.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a roster to look at here. We have some guys we can throw around, but I think the X Factor is who is patient between you two, and which one of you guys gets just kind of scared off of being last. Don't want to have the ugly bracket in your house. At what point do you feel like you're throwing? I mean, there's so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
Which one can be more patient is the X Factor.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna buy on that guy. I'm buying on whoever's patient. I'm selling on the one.
I think that's what it takes.
I'm selling on whoever names their team has the name Girth in it. No, in all reality.
No, but I like the mindset behind the Zips. To be honest,
in all reality, it matters all about who they draft.
Yeah.
In that, oh man, there's actually guys who are going to be good in there. That's what you guys got to remember. There are hidden gems in there, and you're going to pick someone like an Alex Smith from last year, QB4. You're going to pick someone who has value. Mm-hmm. I promise you, there is value in that draft. So that goes to the teams. What else? I have a couple more.
Do we have more questions? Yeah.
Question for the podcast. I will give this strictly to you. How many more years do you think Breeze and Brady have left in the peak performance era?
Goodness, what a question!
I think they're different.
I'm going to answer this a little bit like. Oh no, I don't even know how to answer this question. I mean, I love late surges. I love to see an older guy in a competitive sport like this, somebody who defies what's to be expected. I love to see them go. I mean, not to talk too much tennis for you. I believe Cody was the one that said no tennis talk. But Roger Federer talks about retiring at least 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Where is he now? He's still going. I don't believe we can correctly forecast that. But to be honest, you can't talk more highly of Tom Brady's overall health peak as a guy.
Does he have 2 years of peak? Does he have 5?
Tom Brady's got 3 years of peak. Drew Brees has 2.
Oh, you think Drew Brees is done quicker than Tom?
Yeah, I do.
I love that. That's bold. Yeah. I think Tom. This is gonna sound. You guys all know I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but the one thing LeBron does better than anyone is trains his body to be able to take a bashing. And Tom Brady is the same, and arguably the first person to do it.
Exactly.
And no one remembers that because he doesn't look like LeBron in any way, shape, or form. He's not
physically. Right. No. Right. Yeah. But he takes care of himself. Yes.
He can come back from anything. Yeah. And so if Tom Brady decides he wants to play for 4 years, then Tom Brady will play for 4 years, and he's not going to be bad in those 4 years. Yeah. He will always be good.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about that guy.
I know.
When you're the GOAT, you're just kind of the GOAT.
I know.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan,
as we see it,
who I would consider one of the GOATs. In basketball, it's a lot more difficult. I'm going to say he's the GOAT because he's the only one done playing right now.
True.
And I know I said that Tom Brady was the GOAT, but Tom Brady, in my opinion, solidified that a while ago.
Yeah.
But like Michael Jordan, right? That guy could put on some basketball shorts right now and go put up 15.
Right.
Like, I would put money. Says Michael Jordan gets to play 40 minutes in a game. And he gets a week of maybe running around a little bit, so he doesn't vomit after the first 2 minutes. But if he can get a little shape in, because I mean he shoots all the time. That guy has a jumper. He could put up 15 points. Yeah. Kobe Bryant could go rack up some shorts and drop a 40-pointer if he had to, and he could shoot the ball like he did last game. Yeah. Those guys the GOATs have it. Yeah. Tom Brady has it.
Yeah,
Drew Brees has it.
I agree.
They will be good. The drop off won't be as large as what people think, but the drop off will be not the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah.
To piggyback on that, who will be in the bottom six teams in this year?
No, we're not talking about fantasy. We're talking about. Are we talking about fantasy?
We're talking about fantasy.
Oh, okay.
I would assume.
Okay.
Which I think it's easy to go with the 2 expansion teams.
Yeah.
Of course. There's not a lot of.
This is for
not a lot of love for that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see the Kuna Hornets low, and the reason why is I think you have a lot of X factors. If a guy like Nelson Aguilar steps up, if a guy like Sterling Shepard steps up, if you have Joe Mixon and Dalvin Cook both do well, we also could be talking about you as the biggest surprise this year. So don't take this as like a slap in the face. Just take this as you got some X factors.
Right.
I also talked about a lot of X factors on a couple other teams. I think Tate is another one. He's the kind of guy that could sneak in the playoffs like he did last year or close to the playoffs. Or he could be a guy that's at the bottom of the list because a guy like Marvin Jones decides to not be what Marvin Jones was this past year. I mean, there's so many things that could go wrong. I want to say Man of Theo. He has Saquon. He's got Aaron Rodgers. He has a couple talented guys, but he also has guys. I know Aaron Rodgers is going to put up points.
Yeah.
I know Saquon's going to get touches, but maybe Saquon's not what everyone thinks he is. Maybe he's not.
It's slim. It can happen.
Pick 2 could be a bad pick. Yeah. Maybe someone doesn't pay up like you want.
Right.
Maybe he's a bad pick. Maybe Marshawn doesn't have a good year. Maybe those Packers running backs just are good. You have 3 of them. Yeah. What if one of those aren't good? Or maybe you only have 2 of them. What if Julian Edelman doesn't come back? What if Sammy Watkins has a year like he did last year? What if Jordan Reed has a year like he did last year? What if Jameson Crowder has a year? You know what I mean? Like, you bought low on a lot of guys, and I like that. I actually like the roster. But what if they just have another bad year?
Yep.
You could easily be back down there.
Yep.
I think Gonzo's Legends is on the brink of good or bad. If Carlos Hyde's good again, then you could be good. If Kenyon Drake's good again, you just have a lot of fringe players, and you also have Larry Fitzgerald leaving after this year. I think you may sell on him strictly for the 1 year. I don't really know that answer. Maybe someone who thinks they can win it would like to plug him in their flex. I mean, I know I would.
Right.
If he's going to be receiver 6 again, I'll give you something for him. But I mean, he has value somewhere. And if you're out of the playoff hunt, I think he's a seller, which I think would hurt your team even more. Meaning, I think you could finish in the bottom 6.
Yeah. How many is that? 4 or 5?
I think I chose 5/6. I'll go another name. I think Oregon Outlaws, Mr. Riley George. I think Jimmy G's overrated. Sorry, Jake. I know you don't want to hear that. But I'm just not in on the hype yet. I got to see it from a little bit more. I didn't see a guy like Deshaun Watson who looked like an X Factor. I just saw a guy who somehow won, which has its own right to be cool. But I mean, a lot of them, some bad talent, some good talent he played. I don't know yet. I can't.
There's a huge question mark,
And there's a lot of other guys on Riley's team who could have bad years.
Could have great years.
Ingram could be
years.
so bad this year. This could be the year he's just not good.
Golden Josh Gordon has a dud comeback.
Josh Gordon now has Jarvis Landry with him, who's going to take up a lot of targets.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just Kelvin Benjamin sucks. He plays for Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like, Delaney Walker could have a bad year. They have Johnny Smith waiting on the rings to take over. I mean, there's so many
things could be spread out a lot more in that offense than they have been in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Those are the main questions I received. Let me make sure. I think there might have been one serious one up here. I want to double check. But mostly, there's probably not going to be any I'm going to answer on here. Breakdown of the new owners. The breakdowns I will give you. Jake Wilson, you are very competitive. You yelled at me once on a baseball field, and I still hate you because of that. And I asked everyone to not vote for you in this league because of that moment, and everyone doesn't listen to me, so therefore that's how you got in with a unanimous first place vote, pretty much.
This is the guy with the 49ers hat in the video?
Yeah, the guy no one liked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the guy did
bad beard.
Oh, yeah.
I just...
No, that guy's cool.
He yelled at me. I was...
Even cooler.
Even cooler. Just, you don't show up. You don't show up players on the field. You don't do that. You just don't do that.
I like it, to be honest.
Okay.
I like the move.
That's why we don't get along.
I like this guy.
But Jake should come in with some passion. This is for mostly the other league members morely than myself. I know both parties coming in, so I think Jake is going to come with some passion. I think Jake is going to be in the chat more than we all initially thought a new person would. I think Jake is going to come in with some very clever things to add to the league that no other candidate would have offered. Like I said,
you guys are looking for, right?
Yeah, which is something we definitely were looking for. I think he's going to be a healthy addition to the league. I think Brandon, if he pulls through with the website, could be amazing. That could be a game changer. We could throw the podcast on there. That would be a great addition.
Yeah.
I hope Brandon. I think he beat me in the last fantasy league we played.
Really?
I don't know. Like I didn't pay attention to the league, but
that's your excuse.
I hope so. But I hope Brandon comes with a lot of knowledge. The family loves sports over there, and I know he watches football with his brother a lot. So hopefully there's a lot of knowledge backed in there. But I think Brandon can come in with a lot of stuff. Like I said, mainly the website's gonna be huge. Yeah. If that happens, I mean it would be a great look. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I hope with both of them we get a lot of effort. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough ride to come back up. There's very few people. I'm gonna be honest with you that I think could make it happen. Yeah. If I had all my relationships restarted from before I raped everyone, I think I was one of them that could do it. Now, if I took over, they would all just love me sitting on bottom, and they would never make a trade with me. But I just don't know how many people can honestly get out of the dumps right there. So I'm going to be very interested to see.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, I'm going to be honest with you, hopefully this isn't the last expansion. Hopefully we can do something even crazier next time. Yeah. Maybe not just adding 2 teams. I'm not saying adding 4. I'm saying do something completely different as a whole. I think this league has so many more years of potential growth and so much more that it can do that I think we could see some great things happen in the future. So I'm excited to see this experiment play out in year 1.
Yeah. We're
also less than a month away.
Exciting.
And then I think the last part of the segment is Madden's coming, boys.
Oh my god.
Madden's coming.
It's gonna be fun, dude.
I am excited.
When is that? Is that just about the same amount of time away?
We're like 20 days away or something. I think it comes out like on the 7th or something.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to play my dad like our 1 annual year game. Somehow we play. Somehow the game happens to be at his house with his PS4, and he always beats me, except for like the last 2 years because he just runs the same goddamn. He runs like a real formation, you know, like a non-video game formation.
Right.
But he plays like the freaking Bears back in the day, and so he doesn't have it in him anymore. He just throws me interceptions. I catch a lot of passes on defense, but we'll probably get 1 game in. I might film it for the league. Other than that, we're gonna introduce a new segment today. So I have all the owners right here on the phone, and I'm gonna randomly call an owner. It is 10:51. I'm going to be honest with you. I may not get an answer from a couple guys. I may get an answer from the first guy.
What's the goal here?
We get to ask him any question that pops to our head.
Question that we've answered in the podcast? Or
sure, any. Whatever you want.
Let's, how about we do this one? This is the interesting one that we got thrown at us. The most indispensable... do you want to do a...
It's supposed to be mostly our fantasy league talk.
Okay, yeah.
So, go down a list. Pick a name. Randomly throw it out.
Random.
And then I'll tell you no if they're already sleeping because we do have some of those people.
This one.
Okay, I don't know if he'll answer, but we will try. Dun dun dun. Let's pull up the thing. Bam. Bam. It's ringing.
I hear it. I think they hear it too.
We have a lot of people with disabilities in our league, so I have to make sure they are focused.
You should have a win then. You should probably have a win then.
What's up, man?
Colton Pringle answered. Sir, you are the first of the podcast random call-ins. So you are on episode 2. Hopefully you have a couple minutes to spare.
We are live.
You are live on a podcast. You are live on a podcast. Everyone's listening to you by tomorrow. So we're going to ask you a couple questions. Are you game?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I love the effort. I love the enthusiasm. Who on your team are you expecting to have a breakout year? Or just a big year in general?
Yeah, good job.
Okay, I've got a 2-part answer.
Beautiful.
I've got a position player that I'm feeling really hot about this year. That would be Kenny Stills. The reason why is because Landry's out of town. Someone's got to eat up the targets and go Kenny Stills.
Okay.
Part 2, this one's not very important. I'm going to say Chargers defense.
Oh, okay.
I think they're going to have a big year with the lost points out of my DFT spot.
I mean, we already went over in this podcast. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a bigger deal that people give it in this league.
Yeah.
Name one guy that you think might have a down year on your squad.
I'm going to say surprising one. I'm going to say Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to live up to expectations. I love the guy. He's going to get the touches, but I don't see another 16 games out of him this year.
If he's RB10, are you happy?
No, because I want RB5 to be competitive, but RB10 is close to what I'm thinking at right now. Maybe even a little lower than that.
I think that's a fair assessment. I like it.
Yeah.
What question can you muster up over there?
I mean, the only one I was thinking of, it has nothing to do with your guys' league, but we had a question that we came by when we were getting ready to record the podcast. Who do you think the NFL's most indispensable non-quarterback player is?
Offensive skill position.
Yeah.
Offensive?
Yeah, offensive.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Freak.
Okay.
He's a freak.
Who is the person that is dispensable?
How about... That's a tough one. I'm going to go with...
On the spot.
It's tough on the spot.
Yeah.
That's really tough. Most dispensable. It sounds goofy, but Le'Veon maybe?
Ah, he picked him.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it.
All right, yeah, we talked about him.
Okay. You're doing a good job off the top of your head over there. So a couple more quick questions for you. Out of non-new expansion teams, who takes last place in the league?
Ooh, good one. Fire
You
some
know,
people up.
the easy answer is just say duck it, move on my life, but I think he's going to be a lot better than people expect.
A lot of X factors.
I'm going to go out on a tangent and say Cliff, because I think he has a big blend of youth and experience, and I think his experience is kind of heading the wrong way, and his youth isn't quite there yet. I think he has good players, but I don't think this is his year.
Okay. Non-Colton Pringle, because you can't pick yourself. Who wins the league?
Oh, don't worry, I wouldn't have picked myself anyway. I'm going to say it's a showdown between you and Mike again. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say your team wins it this year, regardless
Oh,
of
he's
who's
sucking
taking
up.
off your
He's
squad.
sucking up.
Only because I
hard for
call
the
him. If
podcast.
Michael would have called him,
Yeah.
you'd have said Michael. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, whose team makes the big leap? Who do we see that maybe has the team that everyone wants next year? Whose team wasn't a playoff team last year? Maybe he has the 4th, 5th best record in the league this year. Who do you got making a big jump?
You know, this one's easy for me. I've been looking at Tom's team a lot, making trades with him, and I think he has a really dirty running back tandem in Henry and McCaffrey.
Wow.
Like, they're both top 10, top 15 guys just waiting to take over games and kill it. I think Henry's going to be a top 5 back for sure after this year.
Wow.
Wow.
I love that talk.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Kirk Cousins as well. I think
I hope
Crabtree
so.
can come back to a good year. Are you saying that maybe Jimmy Graham has a good year too?
I've had Graham a lot in the past. Just, I don't like him as a football player, but as a fantasy player, he's a stud. I mean, he doesn't block particularly well. He doesn't run routes well, but he gets a lot of touchdowns. He gets a lot of easy completions and PPR. You gotta love how active he is.
Yeah.
You know?
If Tom can find someone to play the receiver 2/flex spot at a consistent basis
Yeah.
and quality targets,
Yeah.
then Tom's team, I agree with you, is definitely on the brink of something special. Is there any questions you want to ask myself or my counterpart Jordan here before we wrap up the phone call?
Can I text one in? How's that?
Text one and I'll answer it right away for you. Thank you for being available at 10:50 at night, and it was a wonderful and a pleasure to have you on here.
Good first call in.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You have a good night,
Later,
sir.
man.
That was a success.
That was cool.
First
That's
call.
cool. I didn't know
first
we were
answer.
doing that.
I wanted a surprise for everyone, even yourself. That is something that I thought of, that I talked
I
to some
like
people
that.
about.
I like it.
I think it'll be a great addition. Most of the time it will not be at 10:50, but I
Right.
know most of the league is up fairly late. There was a couple names that I kind of scratched off to be nice about, or some people, some kids maybe, some people that I know
Right.
are sleeping, like the old man Tony. I know he sleeps at like 6 o'clock or something silly. So there was a couple people are going to leave off the board. But I'm excited to get the next question. Other than that, I thought something fun might be just to add real quick. We had all of the people answer some questions, and I thought maybe, just maybe, you would hear my response and Jordan's response as someone who I debated on petitioning for the league. I thought maybe you'd like to hear our not our attempt to get in the league, but maybe just our thoughts on how those should be answered. So first off, I got to be able to find that format, because I believe it is on here, not very far. Bam. So we won't describe our resumes, just because, like I said, we're not trying to get in the league, but maybe the other answers. So first trade, would you take Tom Brady and Emmanuel Sanders, or Marcus Mariota and Josh Doctson?
I mean, I'm
And why?
biased.
I know you're biased on Marcus, but if you who's getting the better end of the deal? You can't be biased in this league. There is a zero bias. If you were to ever join the league, there is no ability to be biased on a certain player unless you're willing to get kicked out of the league for that player. And I know Marcus is probably that guy for you.
Marcus, I love you, but I mean, the team who's getting Tom and Emmanuel is winning this trade.
Is winning this trade?
Yeah.
Is there a chance that the team that gets Marcus and Josh wins that trade?
I mean, of course there's a chance. Of course.
How slim is it?
It's slim. Josh Doxson, I don't think is going to do anything. I think the wide receiver portion of that trade is that's easy.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a dynasty league. You got to factor in the length of both these players. But sadly,
I'm gonna agree with you and say it's
Tom.
fairly lopsided.
Yeah.
Who got Tom Brady? Tom Brady. We're talking about for the first. I'm not gonna throw out my numbers because I have my own feelings about my own quarterback, and you guys don't get to know them. But Tom Brady is a superstar when he plays, and Emmanuel Sanders now has a quarterback. So I think Emmanuel Sanders is in for a better year than he had last year.
Absolutely.
Josh Doxson is all talent, no, he just doesn't perform.
Yeah.
And then Marcus had a down year last year. I know this is hindsight in what the trade is now.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
Marcus has a much better year this year, but in our value, his value is higher than what it should be in all other leagues. Considering in most leagues he's probably not even on a roster.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the rank 6 through 10 best dynasty player in each position. So first off, we will start out with quarterbacks. Who is your
Are we
6 through
including
10? Yeah. I think we did quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. At all three, each of these.
Oh, yeah,
quarterback,
right.
running back, receiver. So who is your 6 through 10 quarterback? And then I will name mine. And I will do mine in order as well.
I'm just gonna throw out 5 names.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Cousins, Jared Goff. Go Rivers, Wilson, Ryan.
Okay. So I personally have Rodgers, Wentz, Wilson, Watson, and
I have Wilson
Cousins
5.
through 5. Yeah, I have all 3 of those in my top 5. So then my next tier, according to my opinion, would be Derek Carr, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Matt Stafford, Tom Brady. I still think Tom Brady with 3 or 4 years still carries plenty of value. If I were to go younger, just simply to go younger with Tom Brady, that's when I would then throw in your. It's so tough. Drew Brees. I'm still gonna go with the old. I want a guy who's top 5.
Yeah.
They're top 5 quarterbacks. I would still take them top 5 right now. They're still
easily.
they're still viable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still want those guys on my roster, no matter who I am, whether I'm a bottom feeder or I'm top. I want a guy who I can lean on.
I agree.
So what about running back?
I mean, are we assuming the top 5?
You can go top 5 whoever you want. So therefore, your 6 through 10 can be whoever you want.
All right.
If your 6 is Todd Gurley, then you're an idiot. But you can say that.
All right. I don't think I clearly don't think Alvin Kamara's top 5, but I would include him in 6 through 10. Melvin Gordon. I mean, I'm gonna put Hunt up there. I'm not big on Dalvin Cook. I'll go Devontae and then Fournette.
Okay. I'm gonna be a little different. I'm gonna go Saquon at 6. I'm gonna go Kareem Hunt 7, Leonard Fournette 8, Melvin Gordon 9, and I'm gonna go Jordan Howard 10. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Jordan Howard. I think Jordan Howard is better than like Dalvin Cooks of the world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's proven that, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I eat my words at the end of the year. But those who would be mine,
Never know.
You never know what can happen. But those would be my personal. What about the last final receivers?
I mean, I don't think Keenan Allen's top 5, so I'm including 6 through 10.
Okay.
Along with Mike Evans. I'm gonna go Hill. I'm gonna go Brandon Cooks. I'm gonna go T.Y.
Oh, you went different. Just for the viewers, can you explain your reasoning on the last 3 guys? Because I don't think those are 3 guys that most people put in the top 10. But the big thing that you would have to add when you throw on your resume is the reason why you pick those guys, right?
Yeah.
You want to have a reason why you pick your people.
Absolutely.
If they are absurd
I mean,
or if they are
we've
outlandish.
been talking about the Rams a lot today.
Okay.
I mean, I think Cooks is perfect for where he's at. I think he's going to be a superstar. I don't think he's going to be top 5. I think there's a big drop-off between top 5. But I think 6 through 10, that's competitive range. Same with T.Y. I mean, T.Y. we already know it has the flash. If Andrew Luck comes back and can produce the same way that he did before he left, that only helps T.Y. Helps him a lot.
I mean, yeah, he's really good.
1.5 bold. Go ahead.
My personal opinion, 1 through 5, is I think it's got to be Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and then this is where it does get tricky. You're right, but I still got to give AJ Green the nod. And then the 20's tough. I mean, 10's tough, but mine's gonna be kind of much different than what other people are gonna say, and I'm saying Doug Baldwin.
Interesting.
Consistent. Last 3 years, he's been high quality. He's got Russell Wilson. Nothing's changing on that front. He's not old. He's not super young, but he's a guy who I can lean on in my receiver 2 slot, and I would be content with his production.
Yeah, I agree with
every
you.
single year.
Yeah, I agree with his consistency.
And then something that we did not do is tight ends.
Ooh, I like this.
It's because they're a little outlandish. So instead of going 6 through 10, let's go 3 through 7.
Okay, I can do that.
Because 1 and 2 are fairly obvious. Gronk being who Gronk is usually always considered 1. I am actually going to put him at 3 because I think he is out the door more than he's in the door with that. I think then we have Evan Ingram. I think we have Hunter Henry. And then I think we go with the big guys from last year with Joku and Howard. I think the tight end class last year was loaded. I think that's what we have to go with. I think guys that just missed the cut for me are Rudolph, Trey Burton, even though he's kind of a little just kind of on the outside. I think those are your just misses. But I like the other ones. I really do.
3 through 6 is what you're saying?
Yep. 3 through 6.
I mean, to be honest,
that means I had Kelsey and Ertz.
Right. And I'm gonna go Kelsey and Gronk as the top 2, so I'm gonna go Ertz. I'm big on Hunter Henry, and then I'm gonna go Evan Ingram, and then I'm gonna include Kyle Rudolph in my 3 through 6. Yeah. Okay. I think he's perfect.
And then we have received Colton's questions.
Oh, what is it?
So, to go ahead and get these last couple, this will round out the podcast. So, 1, which is biggest factor in Pat's success, Belichick or Brady? Oh, I am going to go with it's a mixture of both. That's a cop out.
I mean, of course,
but
it's a mixture
Bill
of both,
Belichick
but
is definitely the main reason.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is a superstar, always will be. He's the GOAT, but he's the GOAT because of who he had around him. Like I said earlier, it's all about scheme fit, players willing to adapt to that stuff. It's all about Bill. The guy's a genius.
They know how to build a team that plays.
He knew how to figure out and get the best out of every player. Yep. Just like every player says, it's not a fun locker room to be in, but they win, and that's what makes it fun. They've had multiple people leave and say it's a job. Well, it's funny because it is their job, and they know how to do it really fucking well.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
Bill Belichick is the one who built that. So go Bill. Number 2, what impact will Jameis' suspension have on the entirety of the Bucs this year? None. He's terrible. Their backup is as good as he is. Is their backup the same? I actually
I don't disagree.
I'm going to look that up because I don't want to be wrong. But I believe last year they had a backup who was, in my opinion, better in Fitzpatrick. So I want to make sure he's there before I just make a claim that I don't know. Yep, Ryan Fitzpatrick is still there. Ryan Fitzpatrick is better than Jameis Winston on a consistent basis. He does not have the ability to be great like Jameis had shown in the past. Jameis did show flashes of being really good.
I mean, he's at least an athletic guy, you know.
But I would say Fitzpatrick's better every day.
Yeah, I don't think that changed. I don't think that changes the Bucs win-loss record at all.
How many wins do they have this year?
That's an interesting question. 4-12.
4-12.
Yeah.
I think it could be worse.
I think they steal some random low-scoring Panthers win, and then that's it. You know.
Okay, and then 3. Who is the best value rookie in the upcoming draft?
That's a good question. I don't know what we officially decided on pronouncing this guy's name, but I think best value. I'm gonna go with Geis. I'm kind of pumped to see what he does. I'm interested to see how the Redskins use him. Rashad Penny's been a guy that I've been talking about too, though.
Okay.
I think he'll fit in with the
So
Seahawks.
I heard something different when you say best value. So I'm gonna give you 5 names to watch out for in this draft. I'm gonna up the ante a little bit and give you guys some love.
Can't wait.
These are second, third round finds.
I hope you say this guy.
And I'm gonna say some names, and you're gonna be like, why, who, maybe even. I don't know exactly what you're gonna say. DJ Chark is one of them. He is at Jacksonville, super athletic receiver from LSU. If he puts it together, he is Allen Robinson clone. tell you that now. Next name I'm going to drop is going to be what I like a lot is Deion Kane. Deion Kane, receiver from Clemson, goes to the Colts. He could be their number 2 receiver after losing out on what's his name that went to the Jags. He is on Cody's team, so let me pull it up. I don't want to forget a name and just not say it. I'm talking about Dante Moncrief. After losing Moncrief, Deion Kane could be a guy that comes in and actually wipes up the floor a little bit and is good. I'm talking like actually talented and can play some football.
Okay.
I would also say that Antonio Callaway from Cleveland could be good. I don't think he plays much because I think he's Josh Gordon. But if he has Josh Gordon there, and I want to say Josh Gordon's clean right now, if Antonio Callaway can learn from the man,
So
Antonio Callaway was arguably receiver 1, maybe 2 in this draft. Another receiver, I know I'm throwing a lot out at you, not what you're wanting, I know you all want running backs, is Equanimus St. Brown, who went to Green Bay. Beautiful fit. If you want to know a guy who's Devontae Adams of the future, it's him. Watch out for that name. That's a real big name drop. That's like one of the hidden secrets of my pocket. Love him. And then I'm going to be honest with you, the other position, the other couple players, I'll give you maybe 2 more. Quarterbacks as a whole, in our draft, quarterbacks slip and they become very valuable in year 2. Great return on your investment. So I could see guys like Baker being great pickups in the 2nd, 3rd round. And then I think tight ends this year, I think the tight end class this year was maybe the best tight end class we've seen ever in our Dynasty League. I think this is the year to snag a tight end and hold them. I think it's even better than last year's. I think you have. So if we look at the tight ends that they list, you have Mike Gesicki, stud. Going to be really good for Miami. He reminds me a lot of Julius Thomas in his good days, not his bad days. I think there was only about 16 good days though. You have Dallas Goedert. He's going to play the Trey Burton role. He could be in for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns this year and be a quality up-and-comer. You have your other guys are Hayden Hurst. You have Mark Andrews. I mean, the list goes on. There was like 4 guys who had first, early, second comps for tight ends. So those would be my quality ones. I don't really have any others.
You guys have 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, I have a couple more, but who were you hoping I was going to say?
Lamar Jackson. I thought you were going to throw his name out there.
Quarterback. I slid him in there slightly. Yeah. But those would be the questions. That's it for round 2 of our podcast. 2. The Dynasty has just started. The YouTube fame has just started. I'm expecting the money to start flowing in soon.
Oh, that'll be happening soon, dude. This is gonna catch fire, and
who wouldn't want to listen to this? About For Love Again. I mean, it's the best
anybody
league in the world.
Listen to it.
So therefore, anyone could be speaking, and it would become famous. So therefore, I'm just waiting for this. Those famous things where it's like a pack of like 10 million followers on YouTube, a plaque I can hang up in my room, something along those lines. But do you have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, FLOTG, we're out. Welcome to League, the 2 newcomers, and good luck with you guys. We're going to be here again in a week, so maybe a preseason check-in. It's coming up quick.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good one.